specific. The Quran really says that that we're put here to worship God. We're here as God's slaves. And then you think about what God would want us to do is to do. But
having a family is also at the top. I mean, outside of worshiping God, the next thing is having a family.
Right.
Really?
So. Right.
That's how you make God happy.
Yeah. So whether you're an atheist or you're religious, etc., it seems to me that procreating is at the top of the totem pole. If you're an atheist, it's procreating. If you are religious, it's God, then procreating, which is right there. Right.
Right.
So with that said, creating life, what makes a man's chances increase to procreate? I'll answer it. Acquiring status, resources, being attractive. Fair? Can we all agree on that?
Trinity. No, data-wise, you're just wrong.
What?
Like, poor men have more kids than wealthy men. You're just wrong. I know you say I'm a contrarian, but like you can Google the numbers right now. You're just wrong.
No.
The best in the village.
I didn't say what is actually going to lead to. I said what increases your chances.
How can it increase your chance if it doesn't actually do it? Or what is that? What do you base it on?
It would be the highest level of trinity of status, network, and looks in the fucking village. Like Melina chose you from all the fucking nerds. She chose you because you have the most network, looks, and fucking status, you dumb fucking
liberal
cuck
thank you for
bitch.
saying I'm so hot. If there's a guy that's pursuing that trinity of things and another guy's just trying to fucking have as many kids as possible, the guy that's fucking have as many kids as possible is always going to have more kids than the wealthy.
But remember, again, this goes back to creating life and increasing your likelihood of mating. As a man, acquiring status, resources, competence, etc., is going to secure your ability at a higher likelihood of getting a better mate, being able to stay with that mate long term, and most importantly, getting more than just one woman because men want quantity. Right? Acquiring status, resources.
Yeah, I understand.
Is
It's like
important
a
for increasing your chances of finding a mate.
Sure,
now,
it's a fun theory, but number-wise, none of that exists in reality. Poor men have more baby mamas. Poor men have more children. Poor men have a higher likelihood to pass their genes on. Isn't this just the point of like idiocracy of the movie?
They cannot sustain and maintain a.
They don't need to sustain and maintain.
Destiny, which of the poor? The highest status.
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
Let me finish my point here, okay? Because it still doesn't change the fact that it increases a man's likelihood of mating, acquiring these things, which is why, right? Men get a natural benefit and happiness because you mentioned before, you guys built up this podcast. It makes you feel good. The reason why men chase resources and status is because that leads to respect, that leads to fulfillment, because men are fulfilled when they create something. That's why men are builders. That's why men are overwhelmingly inventors. They create the infrastructure, etc. Men are fulfilled from creating things. Women, however, are fulfilled from creating children. That's why women, right? Women don't get the same satisfaction from building something. They don't get the same satisfaction from career, earning income, etc. They get more satisfaction from having children. Even the women on the panel, successful hairdressing salon, etc., they pick their kids. Why? They pick their kids because they know that my duty as a woman is to be attractive so I can find the highest status man that I can and have children with that man. So what I'm saying is that women get their benefit from biological sense. They get their fulfillment from having a family. If they want to have a career, that's cool, but it's never going to fulfill them to the same extent that it will for a man, because when a man is fulfilled with a career, his mating options increase. When a woman is fulfilled by being attractive and having a man, she's successfully done her mating strategy. Because men and women are different. Women want quality. So how do I get quality? I be attractive, keep myself young and fertile, get that man. Bam, I secured his resources. I won. I have children with that man. I'm in a relationship. Man wins. I have resource. I have status. I have this woman. But if I want to, I can spread my seed to other women because I have the ability to have quantity.
Why don't any of them do it?
Perfect.
Wait.
What was that?
What wealthy men don't go out and have a ton of kids, though. It like defeats your entire argument. If men are only pursuing these things because it gives them the option to procreate more,
They fuck a bunch of other women.
but they don't, and they don't have a
Yes,
lot of
they do.
kids. They literally don't. Higher body counts are on poor people. Like everybody
talking
knows
about
this.
today? Are you talking about today?
Today, yes.
Yeah, because there's birth control. We have contraception and birth control, so men don't have to deal with the consequence of impregnating women.
Yeah, but even wealthier men don't have higher sexual partner count. There's no study, there's no research you could pull. Like we're totally off the facts at this point. Like I said, like it's like Nick's story. These are nice stories, but they don't map onto reality. They're just stories. If you look at the data, wealthy men aren't out here having sex with all these women. They're definitely not procreating with all these women. And if they wanted to, they could tell them to get a birth control.
Jesse, common sense.
Common sense is if you ask who has more kids, it's gonna be poor people.
Mapping on reality, maps and meaning over here. If I am like a multi-millionaire and I'm standing next to some homeless bum, who is going to have a higher chance of mating with a woman?
It's about who's choosing to.
Exactly. We're talking about chance, not choice.
But you're saying you pursue the chance in order to exercise the chance.
We're saying very simply, it's very simple. I know it's hard to understand. When there's no source, where's the source that says that hot,
I do
tall
like that you
chads
fall
with
back
lots
on
of
emotion
money?
over fact because you
It's
can't
not,
win
it's
the
not
data
about
argument.
emotion.
It
It's
is.
just common
It's an
sense.
emotional argument.
It's just
I can't
common
argue
sense.
against the emotional
Everybody
argument.
watching can perfectly understand what
Really,
we're
they
talking
think
about.
that wealthy people have more children than poor
Wealthy
people?
Then the
people,
guy would
everybody
smoke
women
it.
are more accessible to wealthy people.
Wait a
than
minute.
poor
Then why do
guys.
poor people have so many more children?
Because it's a different
Well,
lifestyle.
you think right now? I'm curious. And the wealthier countries in the world versus the
When
poor
you're talking
countries
about
in the
the poor
world,
people,
who's having more children?
Africa.
Really, but they're all
It's
poor.
RK
Why?
selection.
Why?
It's
First
RK
of all, it's not
selection. Very
RK selection.
simple.
That has to do with investment in offspring. That's not even true.
Yes,
No.
it is. Yep, it
It's
is. You
not.
can look up. There's a debate about it on YouTube. But
There's not a
that's
debate about it.
besides the
There
point.
are selected species and case-selected
It's
species.
very simple.
But it has nothing to do with the conversation right
If
now.
I'm rich versus a poor person, who has a higher chance of going to a bar and pulling a girl and taking her home?
Well, based on the data, it seems like the poor person that's spending all his time fucking does.
Okay, that's all I wanted was that
That's great.
answer.
And then we
based
look up-
on the data, the poor person.
Well, is
Okay.
data gay
Case
when it
closed.
backs me up, Nick?
It's
Mr.
gay when it's
Captain Virgin
retarded.
at 26?
It's gay
You
when
hate
it's
the data
retarded.
now?
Everyone
I'm
raise
sorry,
your hand
like-
if you think
Well,
the
I
rich
know that
person has a
upsets you.
higher
I'm sorry.
chance of
I can only
pulling a
go by
woman
the
in a
numbers.
bar.
That's all I can read.
But that's
Literally
you
everybody.
also have to admit that what we're talking about, there's no way to conclusively conduct a study on that level where you're comparing wealthy men who keep their sex life secret for obvious reasons versus a regular dude and or a lower socioeconomic male. Like you can't that study would never pass any type of ethical
Wait,
guidelines.
hold on. You literally can check who has more children. You
Bro,
can
you
break it down by
fuck
income.
40 Discord girls a month, but when you were a carpet cleaner, you barely had one. You had some half
I don't
midget.
have babies with 40 different women. What are you talking about?
40 different guys.
That's not a good assessment to use that people are having sex because you got to remember in 2023 guys that have money are more likely to pay for an abortion, use contraception, give a girl a plan B. They're less likely to actually go through the process of having the child.
Yeah, but then why would we acquire all the status if it's not to have children then? I thought that was the whole point.
No, you're right. But men want the sexual options. Men are more interested in the sexual act. That's what I'm talking about.
No, that's the point here. Optimal performance will indicate it. For example, you need money and status, but just to have kids and have like that sex life, you could be a bum. However, it's the intent behind it. So if I intend to have sex with women, that's my intent. That's my focus. So by default, I'm gonna have more options and more girls. But higher quality women will respect a man that has worked on himself and becomes successful.
Wait a minute, Fresh and Nick, are you saying the homeless man that smells like fucking dog piss is not fucking my wife? You gotta be kidding me, bro.
The whole reason I even went through that display is to show that men derive fulfillment from success and acquiring status and resources, which increases their likelihood of going up in the sexual marketplace. Women get fulfillment from having a child and family with a man they love, admire, and respect, and securing his commitment. We are very different in our sexual strategies. That's what I'm saying. Men and women derive fulfillment from different things. Can a woman derive fulfillment from a career? Of course, but a majority of women will not.
I understand what you're saying, but I can only repeat it so many times. Like, none of the data agrees with you. There's a reason why the world has changed the way it is, but we're just going back and forth.
No. Since the 1970s, female lack of happiness has gone up.
How are you guys going to decry studies I use and then try to appeal to one of the most difficult to study social phenomenon of like happiness and satisfaction? Like, if you want to study happiness and satisfaction, every single first world country dramatically outpaces every single third world country where they're having more kids, where they live a more fundamental life, where they don't have birth control of cell phones. But like studying happiness, one of the most difficult social phenomenon to study.
But since
now you're going to appeal to
they've
those
seen
studies.
females' life approval ratings have gone down. And what has also occurred during those same decades, I know correlation is a causation, but feminism got stronger since the 70s, and women's happiness rates have went down alongside it. So is the antidepressant medication subscriptions, they've went up. So, I mean, we could sit here and say women are happier now than ever before, but I would respectfully disagree and say that women are less happy than they've ever been because they've been lied to about what actually makes them happy. They're being falsely told, chase a career, make money, acquire resources, basically live like a man, and you will be happy. And what do we have? We have a lot of sad women out there that aren't having the same high approval ratings with life, even though they're the most educated and they make the most money they've ever had.
Sure. I mean, like we can, I don't want to go back and forth all night, but like I said my piece, yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Just out of curiosity, yeah.
Sure.
I was wondering if you value your career over your family.
Here's the thing. I understand, like, obviously family is always going to come first, but the difference between me and a woman is that there is no, I must be excellent to have the family. In other words, I can't leave the workforce for my family, but my wife can. Does that make sense? Like, my family staying intact and being on point is contingent upon my competency and my excellence. The family's success is not contingent upon my woman's success and competency. That's the difference.
Unless he decides.
That is
to
why
leave
it's so
her.
important for the man to be the leader. That is why it's so important for men to pursue excellence. That is why it's so important for the man to take on the reins and be the main breadwinner. If the woman wants to work, fantastic. I think women should work electively. Men must work mandatorily.
Can I ask you a question? Would you ever be
Can
a
we get
stay-at-home
married?
dad?
Absolutely not.
Okay, but I
He
just,
was gonna say yes.
And there's a bunch of biological reasons for that. Women don't respect men that don't provide security and provisioning and a bunch of other things. And me being a stay-at-home father, I've effectively feminized myself. Like if I could, like realistically speaking, if women weren't the way that they were, it might work. But women are very cutthroat when they're with a man that they feel that they are better than.
it's just like
They will lose respect for you. They will start to emasculate you. They'll start talking shit to you. They won't want to be with you. And they want to feel like they're with a man that could protect and provide for them, no matter how much money they make. If I meet a woman and she makes $1 million a year and she took care of her own security, she's still going to want me to make at least $1 million a year. Women are very greedy and selfish with their resources. They don't like to share with men. However, men are happy to share their resources with women. That's why the man must always be in a leadership breadwinner role. When a woman makes more money than her man, the studies show this. The divorce rates go up precipitously.
okay.
Women are terrible people when they have leverage. No offense.
Earlier when we had asked all the girls, you know, what you or what's more important to you, family or career, it was to prove a specific point. Except for all of the men in this room would, because you guys are godly, right? And Quran and Bible
some
come
sense.
first,
Mhm.
so you would choose family first as well. So the point being is, women, even though we
You just
put
explained it.
family
No.
first,
The man has to choose career first.
oh, so you do choose career.
Well, you
over-
If
choose
I don't
career
have the
first to
career, I
provide
can't have
for
the
your
family.
Yeah.
How many
Okay.
men work in law enforcement that go to work when they don't want to work because they have to make the money for the family? How many guys are out on business trips to work to earn for the family? Like men, even though it sounds terrible, as a man, you must put your career first. Of course, you love your family more, but you understand that your career must be put first. You're going to miss Christmas. You're going to miss birthdays. You're going to miss basketball games. Men must make this sacrifice in the pursuit of excellence to maintain their family.
Destiny made the point.
We don't get a choice like women do. Women
What
get
about-
a choice of if they want to pursue excellence and get a career. Men don't.
Destiny made the point. You can have kids being poor. However, optimal performance is, you know what? I make money for my family. I'm the provider. That works all the time.
Yeah.
But being poor, having kids, what's the point?
Or you know what? We could go 50-50, but let's be honest here. Most women don't want to go 50-50.
Well, there's a lot of single mums out there that don't have the option of 50-50. They still do it on their own, and we get by just fine.
You have to.
So
Yeah, it's not
why
really-
would we not agree to go 50-50? If I'm getting by on my own without a man, and a man came and said, I'm going to cut your bill in half, I'd be like, thank God. And I would still be happy.
That's you, but with all due respect, you're 35 years old. Your options in the sexual marketplace aren't like they were 10 years ago. So you might
I'll
have
do
to
all right.
concede to that. But a younger woman at her prime is not taking 50-50. Let's keep it 1,000. They're not. They want a guy who's a leader in all aspects. Women typically have to lower their standards as they get older. You have children now. You're 35 years old.
I've always
you're a
wanted
business
to
owner.
work. Always.
That's
I worked
that's
all
fantastic.
through my
But being
pregnancies